I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, it's Saturday. I'm charged up. I've had my coffee. Let's go into one of the blogs I enjoy doing the most, that mental attitude you're going to need for success, the proper mindset, what you're going to have to do to buy a house, save for retirement, retire early perhaps. Is not going to be easy, but it can be done if you have the right attitude here. So here's some quick shots here. This is a guy that I follow on Twitter. He's calls himself the Art of Investment. I think he's running a private equity firm of some sort. You know, he doesn't give his real name or anything, but he's a smart guy, well-read. He's a lot like me as far as his investment philosophy. He buys the best of the best, loves to buy companies that not only pay a dividend, but have a long track record of increasing the dividend, what we call Dividend Aristocrats. You're not chasing yield here, folks. That's one of the worst things you can do as an investor is buy a stock because it's paying you a 5% dividend or a 6% dividend. There's usually a reason for that. The stock has crashed and maybe there's very little growth left in the company. What you want to do is you want to buy companies and maybe you're only paying you a 1.5% dividend, but have a track record of increasing that double digits every year. So a Costco would be one of those, a Visa, a Nike, an Estee Lauder, companies that not only paying you a dividend, but have a long track record of increasing it. Listen, even the Canadian banks are there, even though those yields are higher. They have a long track history of paying that dividend and increasing it. And that's where the magic starts to happen. They start increasing that dividend, you get the dividends, you reinvest them in more shares, it starts to compound, or what Warren Buffett calls the snowball. So let me go through a couple of things. He's always tweeting stuff out on successful investing and the mindset. So here's the rules to investing that could help everyone. Rule number one, think long term. I've blogged for years and years here. That's the only way I think, whether it's Vancouver real estate or saving for my retirement. When I purchase a house or I purchase an investment condo, I could care less what it does next month, next year, or the year after that. I'll look at it in 10, 15, 20 year time horizons after I paid off the mortgage, and I can guarantee it's going to be worth 2 to 3 times what I paid for it, and the tenant has paid the mortgage off for me. Same thing with stocks. Whenever I pull the trigger on a stock, I'm I'm fine if that stock goes down 10% over the next 2 weeks. I don't care. I bought it from what I think to be a good fundamental purchase. It's paying me a dividend in a lot of cases. I'm going to hang on to it for 10, 15 years or more, reinvest the dividends, and I know I'm going to do fine if you buy the right companies and you do your homework. If you don't want to do the homework, do what I tell you guys, just buy the index, buy the S&P 500, buy the triple Q, call it a day. Understand the magic of compounding. People all the time say, oh, and your portfolio is boring. In Bell Canada, Canadian banks, Macdonald's, Pepsi, I'm into growth stocks that I can, go up 200-300% on. Hey, those are great. My Meta shares are up 140% this year. Apple, which I did a blog on, one of those blogs that back in 2012, I'm up 1,100%. Apple alone, my holding an Apple has made me a millionaire. It's made a lot of people a millionaire. Eli Lilly would be another one that I'm up probably 700-800% on. So I've had some big hits, but I also have a lot of stocks, stodgy dividend payers like the Johnson & Johnsons and the Canadian banks and Procter & Gamble and Coke. They just pay a slow, ever-increasing dividend. You don't hit any huge growth home runs on them. They might go up 10% one year, flat the next year. Maybe you get an annualized rate of return of 3 or 4%, but you throw that in with the dividend, and now you're cooking. Remember that rule of 72 I talk about. If you can get a 7% return, you're going to double your money every 10 years. That's how you get rich, slow and steady. Always be invested. I'm always invested. I never try and time markets. I don't even keep cash very often. I have a little bit of money I keep in my checking account. I don't have an emergency fund. I don't need one at my stage. But, I'm putting money to work pretty much every single week or at least every couple of weeks if I go away on vacation. Because I've always got dry powder coming in, new money from my working as a realtor and my other sources of income. And then I've got a pretty large portfolio that is just dripping cash to me in the form of dividends. It's like a roast beef on a spit, just dripping cash. as Warren Buffett once described it. And that's the way it is. I'm putting new money to work. I'm never out of the market. I never try and time a market. There's always something that I think is a compelling buy. There's always something on sale. Stock market, S&P could be at a 52-week high, but if you dig a little deeper, there's always some companies that are at attractive valuations. Estée Lauder right now would be a fantastic business that's been beaten down because of China that I've been buying some. There's always something on sale. Invest in what you understand. Super true here. Only invest in companies if you're going to do individual companies if you're going to do the due diligence, read the financial statements, read the quarter earnings report, read some analyst reports, and then do your homework on it. If you don't want to do that, I totally get it. It's a lot of work. Just index invest. Low-cost ETFs, go onto a site like Canadian Couch Potato. They'll give you model portfolios, balanced portfolios for under 10 basis points. Totally the way to go. And by the way, as I've said to you guys, the more I learn about investing, the more it comes full circle. 50 cents of every dollar I'm investing has gone into the indexes. As I'm getting older, eventually it's going to be 100%. And if you just indexed invest for the next 15 or 20 years, you're going to beat 80 to 90% of these so-called money managers and pros that are just chasing their tails, buying and selling stock and trying to time markets. It's a giant facade. Volatility is your friend. I love when we get these big sell-offs. We just had 3 weeks down now in the Dow and the S&P. I've been buying, nibbling at stocks. Volatility is my friend. I want to see sell-offs. I've always got money, dry powder that I'm looking to invest. I don't want to invest it when the stock is at a multi-year high. I like to buy it when it's been beaten up a little bit more. But even if I don't have any compelling buys, I seldom keep cash on the sideline very long. I'll just buy the index. I'll buy the XEI, the Canadian high dividend, yielding 5.2%. Call it a day. Cash is trash still, even though I know you can get a 5% return on it. That probably isn't going to last too long. That's one of the reasons why you're seeing a lot of these good high quality dividend payers on sale right now, because I get it. People are taking money out of the equity markets and into guaranteed interest. But remember, folks, that probably is not going to last, that 5% GIC. A year from now, 18 months from now, it's probably not going to be there. Meanwhile, some of these high quality US companies are on sale, yielding 3.5%, 4%, 5%. And the stocks are at multi-year lows. I kind of like to zig when everyone else is zagging. I'm back buying these high quality, stodgy dividend payers. Stock is beaten up because I think in 18 months from now, those GICs are not going to be giving you 5%. They're probably going to be paying you far less. And you're going to see money flow out of that into these high quality dividend payers and watch the stock price go up. Meanwhile, I'm locking in incredible yields at today's prices on those. Buy beautiful businesses. I talk about that in my book. McCormick would be one of those, the spice maker. Estee Lauder is another beautiful business that I've owned. Costco, Visa would be beautiful businesses. Apple. You know, just quickly, Estee Lauder, I've owned it for probably 13 years. It's been incredible for me over the years. It's fallen on some hard times now, though, since COVID, because it's very dependent on China and the economy in China. But it's a beautiful business, incredibly well run. The margins on cosmetics are outrageous, the margins these guys have. And the other thing that I love about Estee Lauder, if a startup company comes along that's got a beauty serum or a hair product that's selling, Estee Lauder just comes in and buys them. They just buy you out and then bolt it on into their network. So Estee Lauder is a beautiful company, fallen on hard times. I've been nibbling at it again here, buying some more at these prices. And McCormick Spice would be another one that's trading down here right now. Incredible margins, well-run businesses, Apple, all these companies. Buy beautiful businesses. Okay, next one up, quickly. Why most people will never be rich. They believe a 9-to-5 job is the only way. Tough to do any type of real build any type of real wealth without, most people are entrepreneurs, self-employed. You can do it though on a 9-to-5 job, provided that you're paying yourself 10, 15% up front and then investing that money, not saving it. You're not going to get anywhere with savings. I know you're earning 5% now on it, but the days are numbered. 2 years from now, you're going to be back down to 2. You got to get that money invested. Real estate and the equity markets are the two best ways for sure. Making career choices based on society and parents. I've talked about this before. You want self-employed entrepreneurs are really the ones that make the big dollars these days. Unless you're a surgeon, dentists, doctors, they can make a pretty good income as well for sure. But you want to find something that you have a passion for first off, but the important thing is you have to be able to monetize that passion. If you enjoy writing poetry, you're probably not going to make a whole lot of money with that, or writing fiction novels. Get into something you have a passion for and that you can monetize. A sales career, as I've often said here, is one of the cleanest paths towards making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year or more. Sky's the limit when it comes to sales. But the thing is that it's a very difficult career to get established in and become an elite level person in. Real estate would be one of those things. It's going to take you 10 years to get to my level or more. And it's a lot of years in the early years that you're going to be starving while you get established. But it's definitely worth the journey. Being too scared of failure to do anything, this is what kills most people. They're frozen on the sidelines. They complain. They don't want to put themselves out there. They don't want to get out of their comfort zone. They don't want to get out of that 9 to 5 and start their own business, because starting your own business is uncertainty. It's sleepless nights. It's stress, wondering where your next paycheck is going to come from. You have to get up every morning at 5:30 and work until 10, 11 o'clock. That's what I did in my early years as a realtor. I worked 13, 14, 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. You work on weekends when you're a realtor. Most people just aren't up for it. And they just don't, a lot of people just don't want to admit to it. And that's never changed. They don't want to take the mirror test. Life is yours for the taking. There's so much opportunity out here now, way more than I ever dreamed of 15 or 20 years ago. Technology's the big thing. I know people that have got YouTube channels going part-time that are making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month part-time on. So the opportunity is out there. Taking advice from unsuccessful people, I've blogged about this one many times. My God. I would say, if I went onto YouTube right now or Twitter and plugged in there stock market investing, retirement savings, investing or buying real estate, 90% of the stuff out there would be complete garbage. Unsuccessful people that have no clue about what they're talking about on that topic. They have no success in that area. What their game is, of course, and people get confused because they go, oh, this guy's got 100,000 followers. He's got 5 million views on this channel. He must know something, right? They don't. The game they're playing is to get clicks on YouTube. That's how they make their money. They don't make their money investing in the stock market. They don't have the first clue. Or they're running some trading site or whatever else, or in real estate. They make their money off clicks on YouTube. And the best way to do that is to grab you with sensationalized headlines. Market crash is coming, don't buy, time the market. That's the way you make money in the stock market, when it's the absolute reverse. You just buy and hold quality names or index invest. It's boring. My channel, for the most part, is boring. That's why I've only got 10,000 followers. If I wanted to go the other route and get clicks, I could probably get 100,000 followers here in the next year if I wanted to tell you guys a bunch of lies and time markets and the crash is coming. But I wouldn't be telling you the truth on how it's really done. So be careful. Lots of unsuccessful people, anonymous people on YouTube and Twitter. You want to avoid those ones. Focus on savings rather than earning. Yeah, you've got to earn the money. You're not going to have any type of, it doesn't matter how great an investor you are. If you don't have the fuel to put into that, then all is lost. You've got to get into a career that can generate the fuel to create that fire, that retirement savings or that investment portfolio. But from there, though, savings isn't going to do it to you. You've got to get it invested. That's the only way. Savings rates are all-time highs, 25-year highs right now, but they're not going to last. The GIC at 5% is not around much longer, folks. Assuming rich people got lucky, I get this all the time. I get it on my YouTube channel. Oh, and you got lucky. You started investing in real estate 30 years ago. They don't know anything about my story. I don't know any real successful people that ever got lucky. Of course, we get some breaks along the way because we put ourselves in a position to get lucky. That's what I often tell people. But, I've had some incredible, some of it probably is luck, but, I 2012, I did a blog on buying a fairly large tranche of Apple shares. And people at the time, of course, thought I was nuts. Steve Jobs had just died. Apple's heading downhill from here. Apple has made me a millionaire just on my holdings in Apple. And I've got it documented back in 2012 in my YouTube channel. It's all there. I put my money where my mouth was. I've had a 7-for-1, an 8-for-1 stock split. On my early purchase of Apple, I'm up over 1,200%. I mean, geez, it's just the Apple shares I was buying 5-6 years ago, I'm up over 500% on. So you get lucky on some of those ones, for sure. But most of the stuff is just hard work, slow, methodical progress that I've made. As a realtor, putting my money into just stodgy dividend payers like a Bell Canada or a Canadian Bank or a Macdonald's or a Johnson & Johnson. You get a 2 or 3% annualized rate of return. I'm more than happy to take that. It's nothing fancy. Add to that a 3 or 4% dividend. Now you're cooking at 7%. Now you're going to double your money every 10 years. I'll take that all day. That's how you get rich. Not setting any financial goals. Yeah, most people don't have a roadmap. You're not going to get any type of financial stability or success or retire early without a roadmap. You've got to set that in place. I go into great detail on my book. Buy my book. Spending more money than they earn, that's pretty straightforward. Consistently making excuses, those are all over the place. Not learning new things, always got to be learning. I tell you guys, always reading books, watching documentaries, all that good stuff. Lacking self-discipline. These are really basic. You have to have these things if you want to have any type of success. Final thing here I want to leave you with. Another guy. This guy is a sports psychologist that I also follow on Twitter. Always talking about mental strengths and weaknesses. And how you want to have mental strengths. And the sooner you develop it, the better off you're going to be. And you have basically no hope in life if you have any type of mental weaknesses, which I'm going to show you here. Mental weakness. Mental weakness is people that are going around saying, I deserve more out of life. And they complain about everything, Vancouver real estate prices, rents going up, all that good stuff, foreign buyers, whatever. They look for excuses and they put their belief and faith in government. And the worst thing you can do, as I told you guys, all governments are terrible, all of them. NDP and socialist governments, though, are especially horrible. Kryptonite. And you see, these governments, socialist governments, they actually embellish a lot of these excuses. They come up with these boogeymen to help you keep that narrative going, those excuses, and it's not your fault. It's not your fault you can't buy a house. It's the greedy landlords that are raising your rent. It's the foreign buyers. It's the money launderers. It's the empty homes. It's all the Airbnbs. It's a giant facade, folks, a fake boogeyman. Is there some of that? Yes, a little bit. Has it influenced you in any way of you getting into home ownership? Zero. It's all on your shoulders. Get over it. If you can't get rid of these mental weaknesses, you're doomed. Complaining, looking for excuses, and putting your faith in government that they're your savior of some sort. They're going to save you. Just hold out another few more years, vote for us, and we're going to help you. You're wasting your time. It's a giant con they're giving you. What you want is mental toughness. Mental toughness is, what am I willing to do to get more out of life? And I'm lucky. I was born to a successful mom and dad that taught my brother and I this very early, that everything is on your shoulders. Don't rely on anybody for anything. Your employer, your government, your teachers, nothing. If you want to make something of your life, it's on your shoulders and it's yours for the taking. You're Canadian, you live in one of the greatest countries in the world. The sky is the limit here. Go run with it. And from there, I was an athlete, participated in hockey, competitive bodybuilding, around a lot of competitive alpha males and competitive people. I also, of course, was fortunate enough to get under the wing of several very successful people that mentored me over the years. All of them pounded this into me. Mental weakness, mental toughness. You want to get rid of your mental weaknesses, excuses, looking for help, thinking someone's going to save you, a cavalry. It's not going to happen. Go listen to some guys like David Goggins. David Goggins, the Navy SEAL, he's on the Ferris podcast all the time. Huberman, he's been on all these podcasts. Joe Rogan. There's a guy that you should listen to and go watch some of his videos. He will teach you the mental toughness that you're going to need. So mental toughness, what am I willing to get more out of life? Well, you're going to be educating yourself, getting better at your career, reading books, removing yourself from negative people, putting the ball in your hands, creating multiple revenue streams, paying yourself first and then investing that money. Those are the signs of mental toughness. You've done the mirror test. You set a game plan in place, you get rid of all the negative people in your life, you don't stop looking for excuses and put the ball in your hands and run with it. Go listen to a David Goggins. He'll help you guys get on track for that. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. Have a good weekend. See you next week.